Podcasting from beautiful Leesburg, Virginia. Welcome to the Music Educator podcast, bringing you tips, tricks, and practical advice that you can use tomorrow. Here's your host and fellow music educator, Bill Stevens.
I am so excited to be here with you on episode number 1. And today we're going to talk about 17 tested techniques to help grow your music program. I have grouped these tried and true tested techniques in 3 main categories. First is the when presenting section, followed by the event section, and most importantly, the behind the scenes techniques, all of which will grow your music program. Let's start with technique number 1. First, you find yourself in front of a group of students. You could be at an elementary school, you could be at a middle school. Ultimately, what you want to do is sell yourself. So technique number 1, sell yourself. You want to tell your audience, your students who are excited to come to that next level, why you have the program that stands out from the rest. Do you have exciting trips? Do you learn a lot? Are you competitive? Do you have something special that makes you different from the rest of the school? You want to let these kids know this, and you want to get them excited so they can take some ownership into being part of your program, and they will help recruit for you. Moving on to technique number 3. This technique is so important. Technique number 3 is move around and be seen. It's important that the students feel comfortable around you. Let them see if you're tall, small, skinny, fat, it doesn't matter. Let them see the imperfections and let them be able to make that connection to you. This allows them to make a connection to you and is the very beginning of a wonderful student-teacher relationship. Technique number 4 is sell the hard instruments. You know what I mean. That one instrument that no one wants to play in the band because my friend over there is playing the flute, my friend over there is playing the saxophone. You need a balanced group. I personally am a trombone player. I didn't start as a trombone player. I started as a trumpet player. I eventually switched, and I loved the idea of the trombone. Do what it takes to make students really think that that particular instrument is special. You know that there's going to be physical issues no matter where a student decides to go for music, but get that performer. Bring a popular student from school. Bring in a guest artist. Do what it takes so that those oohs and ahs start pouring out. The next big category for growing your music program is to host events. Technique number 5 is to set up an instrumental petting zoo. What I mean by this is set up a separate event or a separate time where students can try out mouthpieces, students can hold some instruments, you can get to know parents, and you can possibly even start working out the balance of your instrumentation. For vocalists, this could be an opportunity to start assigning and testing out students' vocal ranges so that you can have a better idea of what your ensembles will look like in the upcoming year. Technique number 6 is to host a 6th grade or an 8th grade night. What I mean by this is you host an event in which your group is already performing and invite either 6th graders or 8th graders to either come and sit in with the band or choir or orchestra or guitar and either play or just be an audience member and participate in some of the activities your group does already. This gives students an opportunity to look forward to do what the bigger kids are doing. It gets them excited, and it kind of gives them a preview of what is expected of them in the future. Technique number 7 is to have your groups visible in the community. Now, as directors, we know we spend almost our entire life at school. If you really broke it down to, do you get more sleep or do you work more? It's probably you work more. But getting your students in your program visible in churches, in community groups, just representing the school outside of the actual building gives your students to be seen, and that influence they have on the community helps promote your program in a positive way. Technique number 8 is to set up a concert that showcases all levels in your district. In my district, we have 1 high school, 1 middle school, and 1 intermediate school. Students learn to play in band 5th grade through 12th grade. So what that means is the beginners from 5th grade all the way up through 12th grade perform in a concert in which we have to host in the high school gymnasium. Our choirs start with a choir in elementary school, so they go from elementary school up through 12th grade. And because of the instrument, since they don't have instrumental concerns, typically they actually ran out a really nice music hall and they do their pyramid concert there. The nice thing about this is your young students and your audience gets to see where the students start and how they progress, and how their sound develops over a course of time. I love these concerts because it helps keep your kids in the program, and the students that haven't actually started in band or choir or orchestra get an opportunity to see what it'll be like for them if they join that group. Technique number 9 is to schedule incentive music competitions at theme parks. So think of it like this. Use this as a reward for all the hard work your students are doing and what they've already done. Showcase your kids, perhaps play a piece that they're going to play at a park for the potential new recruits, and talk about how your group gets to go to different parks, or perhaps even across the country. My particular group, we're going to a theme park with a jazz band, King's Dominion, and we're taking our honor band to Hershey Park this year. It's an exciting event. It requires them to meet some certain expectations to be able to go and to push and meet a certain level of commitment. And those are the kind of kids we want there. This not only helps advocate and inspire kids to join our groups, but it also helps with the motivational efforts of our students that are already in our program. The final and probably most important technique category for growing our music programs is the behind-the-scenes techniques. Technique number 10 is to build a culture of success and excellence. Now you may think, I have to have a big group to be successful. That is certainly not the case. In fact, if you can break things down so your students are successful, they will have an opportunity to actually help grow and recruit for your program. To further clarify, students want to be a part of a program that they can be proud of. If a group doesn't sound good, students don't want to join. Simplify your process. Make the students you have, with the skill sets they possess, successful. By doing that, advocate successes. Make it something really special. Have them be represented at a scoreboard meeting. Have the principal say something on the announcements. Make it cool. Showcase your group and have them sound like superior performers. This will get kids interested. And also, when kids feel like they're being successful, they tend to advertise the group to their friends. And friends tend to want to be with friends that are having fun, that are being successful. So make sure you do this. Build a culture of excellence and success. The road is not easy, but the work is absolutely worth it. Technique number 11, follow up. That should be in big cap letters. Follow up, follow up, follow up. No matter what you do, you need to follow up with your students in class. If you have to do it every day, do it every day. Send out emails, create a master list of emails. It works out really well. Use Google Apps. You can use your own school email. You can create videos. Portray the same follow-up message in different ways, the same way that they learn. If they're visual learners, use visual aids. If they're audio learners, use audio aids. And that's not just for the students, also with the parents. Half the time, the decisions aren't up to the students. Sometimes they're up to the parents. So follow up, create a rapport that's positive, and don't give someone an excuse to say, hey, I didn't know. I didn't hear you say it. Make no excuse. Follow up as much as you have to. Technique number 12. Don't take anything personally. We have all kinds of students, and sometimes those students don't always think about what they say and what they do. So, when a student says something that is perhaps contrary to what you're thinking, go ahead, try to redirect them in a positive way. Even if a child does not take your class, it's better to get them in another music program than not to have music at all. Just don't take things personally, and you'll be great. Because, hey, you got a lot of other really committed individuals that are in your program. Technique number 13 is to create the ideal mindset of your program. And what that means is, from a student perspective, many of them may be in a music program that they didn't get a lot of opportunities to be successful. And perhaps they didn't learn a lot. And what you want is to say, hey, this is the kind of powerhouse program we are going to have. You're going to be well educated, and our community, our parents, our administration are going to be well educated. Some areas, everyone is well educated. In other areas, hardly anybody seems to be. So educate your audience, educate your administrators, use your administrators as tools to help build your program. If they understand what's happening, why it's used for, and hey, even get them involved. Maybe have them as a guest cowbell performer. Find a way to create this idle mindset, create successes, have students, parents, families advocate on your behalf, and they'll help you And the program is not just yours. You may be the director, but it's a community program. So let that group success occur and communicate that ideal mindset. Technique 14 can be taken in a number of different ways, but the technique is to engage older students to be program representatives. This can be everything from when you're doing an instrument introduction day. You can bring a student of yours, bring someone that the kids will look up to you, someone that is well-groomed, speaks well, perhaps is a good performer, is passionate, and have them talk, maybe a little bit. And you could always use dedicated students, no matter who they are. Perhaps you can have your high schoolers work and do like a tutoring or a lesson session with some of the younger students under teacher supervision. This can be done, and they can be ambassadors to help build that program. They can get that word out and serve as mentors to the younger band, orchestra, choir, or guitar member. Technique number 15 is to increase director visibility. And what I mean by that is that you, as the teacher, the role model, the director, need to be seen performing how you want students to perform, making judgment calls how you want your students to make judgment calls. And this is not just at your school. This is also those schools that you will be pulling from. You'll be increasingly trying to get to know your students, and this is one way to do that. Be seen. Technique number 16, call parents about student progress. Now, this could be used at your current school, and this could be used at the schools that you're trying to recruit for. But the idea is if you can get involved with a student, call about student progress and talk to the parent. A lot of times, parents will appreciate this. They will get more involved in their students' lives, and they'll help you meet those goals that you have for your students on a much more consistent basis. So call parents, and who knows, maybe you can enlist them into your booster program, which can help you fundraise for better educational opportunities. And last but not least, technique number 17 is to send out regular emails, newsletters, or videos to keep your parents informed. Remember, most of the decisions are not always going to be of your students. They will be of the parents. And most of the time, parents will have emails that they will be checking on a regular basis. So send out these communications. If you don't send them out, they don't know. And they are not in your class, so this is the ideal approach to get in contact with them. Okay, let's go ahead and recap for the 17 tested techniques to help grow your music program. Number 1, sell yourself. Number 2, have students fill out something. Number 3, move around and be seen. Number 4, sell the hard instruments. Make those the cool instruments. Number 5, set up an instrumental petting zoo. Number 6, host 6th and 8th grade nights. Number 7, have your groups visible in the community. Number 8, set up a concert that showcases all the levels in your district. Number 9, schedule incentive music competitions at theme parks. Number 10, build a culture of success and excellence. Number 11, follow up with everyone. Number 12, don't take anything personally. Number 13, create the ideal program mindset. Number 14, engage older students as program representatives. Number 15, increase director visibility. Number 16, call parents about student progress. And finally, number 17, send out regular emails, newsletters, or videos to keep parents informed. I want to thank you for joining me on episode number 1 of the Music Educator podcast. I love it when people send feedback and hope you consider it. It will help with the dialogue, it will help with the quality of the podcast, and it will help me. I'm the first to admit I am not the best public speaker in the world. However, I do this for the students. I think this kind of information can help us out, and I hope you can join the discussion. So, until next time.
Thank you for listening to the Music Educator podcast for the latest tips, tricks, and practical advice you can use tomorrow. You can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Please visit the Music Educator blog at www.themusiceducator.com for additional posts and music education news. As always, join in the discussion and let your voice be heard by providing feedback at www.themusiceducator@gmail.com or leave a Google voicemail at 703-942-9883. We will see you on the next episode of the Music Educator podcast, and remember, music can change the world.